everybody, and welcome back. It is Angelic Ray coming to you at Angelic Soul 11. I am going to put some music on. I'm totally in the vibe. Happy full moon, y'all. Hello, hello, hello. So we're going to give it time for everyone to be coming in. Thank you all for joining us. Please share the video if you think it's going to be something that's going to be helpful for others to see. I am going to be doing a general collective reading, and then if I have time, I will be doing questions for you. So I'm pretty sure there should be a little box there that has like a little question mark. If you guys have questions, you can put it down there. And I'm just going to do the overall energy for this full moon here. I am going to send this out to a few people. Hello, Gloria. Hello, Goddess. One moment. I probably should have labeled this, but I didn't. And I'm just going to send it like that. So I'm going to keep it very simple. I am going to start with the deviant moon here. And I do, before I get in the cards, I did want to say that, you know, this is Scorpionic season, Scorpio season. The full moon is a once in a blue moon in Taurus, right? It being the second full moon of the month of October here. And before I pull out any cards, what I was really just getting in regards for like the collective reading was definitely like coming in November and pushing towards like maybe later on in the year. Just us, I don't want to look at that card yet, so and it's face down. So us as a collective, obviously going through the transformative proportion, but it being really a deeper, intense, emotional state for some of you. Hello, Goddess. And really when it comes down to like just more secrets being revealed in regards to like government issues and getting more acquainted with the laws here is going to be extremely important, is kind of what I'm getting. You know, which is something that I should also be mindful to, right? Because Spirit has a funny way of talking to everyone in the room. And just more along the lines so that like justice will be served, and it will be served where we will be in the winning team, right? The war's already been won, but you have to be doing your part as well. So I'm getting that there is going to be more of an agenda of maybe like trying to shut down more states again. You know, maybe, you know, because I know they just recently had like reopened everything and stuff, and they've been talking about waves and this, that, and the third. Listen, right now, you know, be in your wave, be a tsunami, to be a force that they cannot play with, you know, where they will drown if they get into your waters, rather than you know, being forcefully moved into, and in some cases, you know, you might have to be forcefully moved into the direction of the waves, because you might be restricting yourself, or you may be like most of you are resilient. The word I'm getting is resilient. Be resilient to the energy of flow and movement and changing with the times and the currency here. But some of you really have a hard time submitting and letting that go. And, you know, I'm an earth sign, so I definitely understand how sometimes that can, like, change. We're like, you know, like, but at the same time, like, the earth goes through seasons and is constantly morphing, whether you believe in the round earth or the flat earth. Earth is constantly morphing and changing and going through different seasons. And so this is for you to be mindful of that as well, that this is, you know, that bridge into a new alchemical process here that we're birthing here. We are literally, the earth is having her contractions right now. The earth is having her contractions and is dilating little by little to give birth to her new rebirth self. And so some of us might be feeling those contractive pains as a collective, with ourselves, with others, or maybe you're not sensitive to feelings, so you may not feel it, but you may see it around you. And so, or it may, whether it's a personal thing or it's a collective thing, this is something that I'm sensing. So I am going to look here, even though I'm not going to take this as the official card, but it was, so Page of Swords here. So there's definitely going to be messages coming through here. This is definitely being mindful of what it is that you're watching, what it is that you're listening to, keeping your mental state focused and clean, really being aware that just because it may seem as if I wanted to find the right words, because what I was gonna say was, just because you may not feel like people are watching you or giving you the attention that you may feel like you deserve here at times, it doesn't mean that people aren't watching. But I'm also getting like, dance like you don't care who's watching. Like, really live in your truth. Really do what is right and exact for you. I also feel like this is moving a little bit. There may be some email exposures that's going to be happening on a collective level. We do know that the elections are coming up as well. So, this can be, where there might be maybe having to do like a recall, or having to recount, or if it's not necessarily a recount, it can be that things aren't exactly as they appeared when it comes down to the results. Interesting. Really seeing beyond illusion here. Really allowing yourself to not, see, this is going to bring wholeness here. We have the Ten of Cups here. So if you were looking into getting into some new projects here and just trying to find a way, or, it's about being, directing your focus, really paying attention to the balance of the emotions and the logics here. Hello. Really allowing yourself to put things down in writing. Allow it so that whatever it is that you want to put out there, it doesn't matter how others perceive you. It doesn't matter what they may see or think about you. As long as you are true in your heart with what it is that you want to do, make sure that that's the path and the route that you are sitting in. And for some of you, this may have to be doing some cord cuttings. I can definitely feel that, right? So I am going to start pulling some cards out here. Hello to everyone that just came in. Did y'all hear that? Because I definitely heard that. I'm going to... What messages do we have for the collective here? I am going to be pulling from the Deviant Moon deck, just because it's super fitting. It is Halloween. I'm super excited. Yes, I'm not really dressed up right now, but so what? Like, is this really me anyway? Like, is this how my soul really looks, or is this just a costume that I put up because I like how this costume looks? Just saying. I don't know. Sometimes I be in those moods. Shri Chandi, Peace Queen, Heaven in the Dream, Serpentine back to spiraling, Peace King back to rhyme. Okay, I'm sorry, I get a little Focus. So messages here. Some of y'all might actually be getting a text message from an ex-lover that y'all might be reconnecting from here. For others, if it's not a text message, it can definitely be in your dream state that there's some communication that's happening between you and a lover. It doesn't necessarily have to be an ex-lover that you have known in this lifetime, but possibly somebody that's resurrecting for you, because you're probably now at the right space in your life, like right time, right space, to move forward into a new transition with this person. And so you may have never met them physically in this timeline, but they are definitely someone that you have prematurely ended things with in another timeline, and y'all just kind of have some work to finish up here. And that work that's going to be finishing up here, this may or may not be a long-term type thing. So be mindful, because that's going to be different for everyone here. I'm getting that's more like for those of you that's been feeling like you're getting telepathic communication from a loved one, in reference to romance here. All right, so just in general for the collective here. So we have the Hangman here, a little bit of a pause here for spiritual revelations. Just taking some time out. We do have the Star here, and we have the Hierophant. I'm going to take those. These are three major arcanas. This moon is in Taurus here, and the Hierophant is very much Taurus energy here. So I am getting that there may be a need to pause here for some of y'all, because you might just be trying to rush your race here, and there's still some spiritual insight that you have to gain in your situation. For some of you here too, is a wish that's going to be fulfilled that maybe in the past you was feeling like was holding you back. It was keeping you stagnated, and the truth is that you needed that as a spiritual lesson in order for you to move forward here. This can be in regards to a marriage, or even like maybe a father figure here. So let me get some clarity on the Hangman, please. And these are three major arcanas, so this is definitely something that this is major in your life here. These are major shifts here that's happening for you to move forward. Definitely healing happening. Yeah, that's the Moon card. I'm pretty sure in the bottom of the deck we have the Chariot here. So again, these are a lot of signs. Wow, and these are all major arcanas here. So I'm definitely going to take that, because the Moon is in do it this way. The Moon is in Taurus here. So there is going to be victory here, and there is going to be moving forward here. Reaping what it is that you sow, being mindful of what it is that you have been planting here. I do feel like this is actual spiritual alignment here, spiritual intervention that's happening here in order for you to move forward. The signs that are here, you can be any of these signs, but do not feel limited to these signs. Is definitely Pisces, Cancer, Aquarius. So we have, that can definitely also be Scorpio too. Taurus. With the Moon, I'm going to say all water signs in a sense. The Moon does represent the Moon itself, but because we have the Chariot here and the Moon, maybe someone that, like this is very emotional, but someone that has a strong maybe Cancer in their chart here, or a strong water in your chart here, that this is definitely going to be resonating with you here. Definitely there's going to be more insight coming through here. Maybe things that was once hidden in the dark for you finally coming to revelations. Definitely having some breakthrough. So it's like, what I like to say is sometimes you got to go through the breakdown in order to get to the breakthrough, right? And so that definitely can be the case here. I'm also feeling like, this masculine energy here, as much as they may have wanted to be like extremely helpful towards you, it was very much an illusionary act, based on emotions and not necessarily on what is true and exact, and purpose here, and soul purpose here. Because they're kind of like, they're like puppets. They're being used, and manipulated by the energies, by the demiurges, rather than actually tapping into their pure divinity here. And so that is why there was like a need to hold here. And when I look at the hangman here, with it being the ending of the Piscean age and going into the age of Aquarius, right? Because that's literally what we have here. We have here like, listen, y'all need to get with the program here, because this old programming here with the Hierophant and how things was restricted in the past and how things looked how it had to be, being puppets to certain religious views, to certain, traditional values, is no longer serving the time that we're going in here. We have the hangman here, which is talking about Piscean energy here. And the chariot literally driving us to the star, to the age of the Aquarius here. So we're going from the Piscean age to the age of Aquarius, and it's no time to be a puppet here. There's no time to be a puppeteer anymore. This is literally the new age that we're going to. And if you have some strings that's attached to your old ways, to your old traditions, to the things, maybe you were married to some thought forms, maybe you were married to some illusions that you felt needed to carry you on with how you have to move in regards to things, or whatever the case may be. Now is the time to really dig deep, and go deep under the water, into the darkest place of that water. And if it feels very dark and scary, just remember that you are the light in that darkness here, and that you do not have to depend on what somebody else's illusion of you has to be. Sometimes people think that because you maybe because like they might feel like you have to play a certain role, or you might feel like they have to play a certain role. It's like at this point, like anything that wasn't serving you, anyone that's not serving themselves, like really be mindful of your vibrations here, because you are what you attract, whether you consciously believe that or not. And subconsciously here, there might be some energies here that's really holding you back from moving forward. Not saying that you are not going to move forward, because definitely rest assured, we do see you here in the chariot moving forward into your true purpose here. Really, but I'm also getting for you to kind of be grounded in that here, so that way, like, you're in the middle of your healing process here. Any additional messages for the collective here? Let me get the Hierophant and the Moon here, please, because we definitely know that we are moving into this time. We are already here. And it's also like, don't feel like you were stuck. That was like your Christ consciousness awakening. And it doesn't have to be Christ consciousness in the sense of like Christianity in a sense, but the Christ in you that is crystalline, that is pure and divine and awakened. And there's times when we go through those awakenings and then we think like, oh, I'm God, I'm fully awakened, I'm woke, and then you wear spirituality as a badge and you fall back into a cycle that's no longer serving you, rather than fully embracing that which is to be serving you, rather than really being in your power here, for the sake of, just because you might like things a certain way. I feel like this is a person that doesn't like changes. They get afraid of changes here, rather than embracing change. And listen, I know that feeling, because guess what? As much as I love change, and see the Hermit, all these major ass arcanas here, see, and in this Hermit here, They're afraid. Like, do the fucking shadow work, right? Because that's what I was about to say. Like, I get fucking scared of shit too. There's things that I don't like. And some of y'all might be a real fucking mess. And you know what? Embrace that fucking mess, but deal with it and clean it up. Because what's happening here, that like air is super. I like this song. Bring me back. Yeah, see, the fish is dead. Like, that fish isn't even healthy fish to feed thousands of people to share with. That fish is motherfucking contaminated and just like, you know, you need to go back to the bottom of the ocean and go hunting like a fucking mermaid for real and like get some good fish. This fish might be like full of mercury. It might be a tuna fish here and it's full of mercury that's poisonous for you, and you can't even feed and share this fish with like thousands of people because, you know, it's poisonous. It's contaminated. It's not something that's feeding you correctly. It has you like a fucking zombie, and it has you in fear mode, and you have to go within. Go deep within yourself here. This could also be that, like, you know, the government, you know, because when I look at the Hierophant right now, being that this is a collective reading, you know, the scare tactics that they tried to put as an illusion here, they try to put this as a scare tactic so that, you know, you don't fully embrace and tap into who you really are. Maybe you're still using like fluoride toothpaste or deodorant with like aluminum, or maybe you use aluminum for you while you're cooking, and that has a lot of radiation and cancer, and you know that can cause cancer here. You know, rather than like, you know, for like deodorant, they have an organic base, or you could even just use like baking soda and lime or lemon, or you could use like Four Thieves oil, or you can, you know, there's so many different, you can make your own deodorant. As far as toothpaste, there's so many different ways of making your own, or even buying some toothpaste that's like fluoride free here. Just to really start purging. I'm getting that maybe some of you, it's time for a deep detox here. I was just about to eat tuna. That was my sign not to. Oh, wow. Look at that. So, you know, Spirit has a way of talking to everybody in the room. You eat what you want to eat, but that was just what came out of me. And so, you know, letting go of the old and really allowing yourself to embrace that. And listen, I'm going through a shedding myself, so I know like firsthand how uncomfortable this can really be. But at the end of the day, you got to keep it pushing. You got to keep it moving forward, because if you don't do it for yourself, ain't nobody else going to do it for you. You can have people around you that think that they want to serve you and help you in your highest and greatest good. And their intentions might be good intentions, but their action is fucking you up. Their actions may be horrible for your path and where it is that you need to go. So you got to be mindful of who's in your cipher, who's in your circle, who are you keeping around here. Because as stated, like, I feel like government issues, this is, what are you watching? In the beginning, it was like, what are you watching? Pay attention to what it is that you're watching. These elections is a fucking game. They're on a fucking checkerboard, and are you being played? Are you a chess piece, or are you a player? Because you know what? We can be all of it at the same fucking time, you know? And it's like, stop being afraid. You know, stop being afraid. That goddess energy, she will swallow you motherfucking whole. But guess what? You will go back into the womb, and you will go back as being a baby, and you will be reborn again. And you might look at things completely different. And that, like I said, we are in a birthing period. So some of y'all, is about time that y'all about to be in the belly of the beast, to get into the mind of it, to be reborn again, to act right. To act right. Look at the Page of Wands here, messages here. This can be a message from the masculine energy. This can be premature energy as well. Maybe somebody just wanting to build with you in spirituality, or that, maybe you're freshly new on your journey, and you're still trying to gather, like what you still trying to. Okay, thank you, Spirit. So good. You might be somebody that's fresh and new in your journey here, and thinking that you have to do things a certain way because of what you see here. And Spirit is saying, making sure that you listening to your inner voice, that you doing the shadow work within yourself here, so that you do the proper healing, so that you don't later on get stuck in having to feel like, you was kind of like doing what other people wanted you to do here. For some of you, this is definitely like, know how to direct who you learning from, or because there's a lot of false prophets out there. There's a lot of false information. There's a lot of truth out there that's being revealed here, but there's a lot of false teachers out here too. Not everybody is very open and honest with where they at in their journey and what it is that they know or don't know here. And like some people might I'm feeling like everyone is your lesson in a sense, and so it could even be like maybe like a family member that is you're learning a lesson from, that maybe you haven't. Maybe there's some things necessarily, maybe either with your father or a masculine figure here. I think you have a ancestor spirit guide of that lineage that is trying to help you work through healing some of this stuff with this masculine energy here, because there's certain things that you have to do. Maybe you didn't always talk to your dad, and like have somewhat of a weird communication here. And Spirit is asking you to really look at it, like really look into it here. For others of you, because a lot of, you may have powers that, yes, come from him and stuff like that, but the goddess energy too. So you have a masculine and you have a feminine energy here. You have the goddess energy. It's funny. So you have ancestral support is what I'm getting. You have ancestral support on your path, and they're giving you the messages and the way to move past this, to move forward here. But there's just certain things that has to be let go, because this person here, they're stuck in their ways. So they may know a lot, but it's almost like the teacher knows that it is forever a student and a teacher, and this person here kind of just got married to what it is that they know, and they just they haven't allowed themselves to open up to learn more again. And Spirit is saying for you to open up and learn more. Spirit is saying, get to know who you're working with before you just go and do things. Get to be mindful. So especially today with this type of energy here, there's a lot of spiritual, and there's people that they do spiritual things for good, and there's people that do spiritual things for bad. So you have to be mindful of the energies of what you're dressing up as, because then you're tuning in and channeling those energies too, which is cool. You might want that, but if you don't know the full backstory of that energy, be mindful, because like at the same time, right, we all like fairies and we like the glamour of fairies. Fairies are super glamorous. They're super beautiful, right? At the same time, that is their superpower. They know how to glamour you. So they are tricksters, right? And some fairies, they will trick you into believing that you are working for yourself or doing something for yourself, and really they doing something that's in their best interest. That's why they helping you. It not to say anything specifically bad with fairies, right? Because we all have different types of fairies, and different there's good and bad in everything, right? So it's just to be mindful, because as much as we love Mother Nature, we love nature. Don't listen. All right? If you want to ride or die chick, you better make love to the earth, because she'll ride or die chick. She'll even kill you, because guess what? She will remind you that your flesh can come off your bones, and she will make a spirit out of you real quick. And how you how you are in that spirit is how vulnerable and naked and truly in your soul you really are. And it can be tough love or it can be sweet love. You know, she has her darkness. She has, you know, she carries so many different beings. She carries human beings. She carries animals. And I'm actually feeling drawn to the animal deck. So I'm going to actually, you know, pull out what animal spirits here. We have like a mess with this candle, but I do think it's like the air. My goodness. Whew, let me see here. I wish I could hear those messages loud and clear. You are so in tune. I like the witch. Listen, even witches, right? Like, that's a whole other thing that everybody nowadays want to call themselves a witch. And even sometimes me, like, sometimes I'm not the witch. Sometimes I'm a witch. Sometimes I'm a healer. Sometimes I'm a diviner. Just because we are all magical in our divine rights doesn't mean that we're all witches. You know, and it's not to say, oh, you put witch as a bad thing. No, that's not what I'm saying either, because that goes with old constructs in a sense also, right? But really look at what it is that witches do. Are you doing that? Or are you, maybe you are like a shaman in a sense. A shaman is like a witch, right? But they do things a little bit differently, and then there's good and bad in different areas. A witch is more, she will walk that middle path, she or he, right? Because they are open to all genders. They will walk that middle path unafraid to throw a motherfucking hex on somebody else. You know, and say, hey, that's my free will. Right? But a person that maybe does more healing might, you know, they might do things in a way almost the same as like a bruja, but they're not sitting there doing hexing or anything like that. It doesn't make them any less powerful. It doesn't make them any less divine. And it doesn't necessarily make them any less than like a witch, right? But there's different levels. This is why, like, you know, back in the days you used to see like the witches looking ugly and this, that, and the third, but then like the quote unquote the good witches or like the healers, they look really young. And at the same time, right, in these movies, because it's based on illusions, how they do things, you know, there's so for example, a medium, right? A medium, or oracle, a diviner may not necessarily be a witch, but that does not make them any less than a messenger. It does not make them any less than a medium. It does not make them any less than a spiritualist, right? Because that may be their divine powers, that they are a medium, that they are an oracle, that they are a messenger, and that is exactly where they are the most potent and powerful, right? And they might be able to like even exercise spirits and stuff like that, because they're so in tune with spirits and able to communicate with the spirits and see the spirits and be in those different realms, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're a witch. They might do a spiritual bath. You know, they do spiritual baths with ruda and cascarilla and, you know, sometimes goat milk or whatever. You know, they put these Florida water, whatever. They put these things together and they wash the floors and stuff to keep the vibration up. We are all spirits, but we are different types of spirit. A fairy is different from like certain type of demonic other beings, right? And the demons are different from like certain angelic beings, and certain angelic beings are different from like certain orishas, right? And certain orishas are different from the saints and stuff like that, right? But they are all interwoven, right, with the universal cosmic energy. Hold on a second. I'll answer that in a moment. With me, like, I just kind of like, when did I start? How did I start? I started with working with the elements, and definitely, I was definitely playing around with spell work, very prematurely, and I had to like learn, you know, oh, this is the laws of cause and effect. Oh, this is how, you know, magic works. Like, I didn't necessarily connect with deities and stuff like that at first. Like, that was not that was not my thing. Like, my altars were dedicated to the elemental spirits of me, the different aspects of me and who I am. And that was how I started like connecting. And then I had an ex who, you know, at the time, I'm gonna grab this. We have the bee spirit at the time. And then I'm gonna ask. I'm not gonna keep it there, but I am gonna show you because I did see it. At the time, I wasn't really. I've always liked tarot cards and stuff like that, but I never considered buying my own. And it's actually a story that I have shared many times. Long story short was, I was at a Barnes and Noble in one state. They was in a Barnes and Noble in another state. I just so happened, I had to use the bathroom. I was working, went on my lunch break, so happened to like just be drawn to where the tarot decks was. And I didn't have the money at the time to just go and buy one for myself. And I also didn't believe that you buy your first tarot deck for yourself. That's just something that, you know, maybe that's old programming of mine, whatever. But, you know, that's just not in my program. And so I didn't buy it, but I looked at it. And, oh, funny enough, this the Deviant Moon is the smaller. This is the pocket version. The original version that I had did eventually later get stolen, but that's a whole other topic. And it was the Deviant Moon I was looking at. I didn't buy it. And as I'm walking out, literally my ex calls me, same time, walking out. We're both holding the door to Barnes & Noble, letting people out as we're holding the door on the phone in 2 different states at the same time. And she ended up getting me a gift. We weren't even together at the time. She got me a gift. And I remember she never used to like even want that stuff around, whatever. Long story short, the gift was a tarot deck. Deviant Moon, the same exact deck I was just looking at. It was like my soul and my intuition just knew that I was going to receive that deck, but I didn't know how or why. And I just looked at it and I was like, well, I can't buy this. I don't have the money for it right now. I gotta buy my niece's stuff, whatever. And it got gifted to me, this very same exact deck that was calling on to me. And at that time, I was already experiencing a lot of things since I was a child. I've always experienced things, and I just kind of knew this was my path. Even to this day, things unfold and reveal to me of how to do things. It is a process. It's a journey. It's a lifelong journey, and I'm forever a student here. So sweet results await here. Okay, so again, although times may be seemingly hard, at times just rest assured that with hard work, right? Because the bees, they put in that work. With hard work, sometimes it's not always the hard work either. Sometimes it's about working smarter, right? Or collaborating with others. And sweet results will awake here. So, and that's the number 7 here. I'm also... the number 7 here, I'm gonna have to this is just whoa. I mean, the flame is insane, but the AC is definitely messing with my candle and how it's burning. Sweet results, yeah, the number 7 here. So definitely allow yourself to get connected. There's actually, you can take, it's like a yogi technique, and you sit down, you take a deep breath in, and you take your pointer fingers and you just, at the side of your ears, it tickles me. I'm sorry. You do that until you feel comfortable. That's connecting with the bee spirit. Envision the bee, work with bees. Maybe leave some honey as an offer, or maybe even maybe you're supposed to switch from honey to agave or something to kind of give the bees the opportunity. Even though honey has so many good, great properties, which message is for you. Maybe it's even, getting a plant to feed for the bees to, depending on where it is on the earth that you live. Maybe it's just even leaving like a little bee fountain, you know, with water and like sugar there. You know, so it depends how the, you know, things are, like where how the bees are behaving in your area. What is your connection with the bee? Do you have a connection with the bee or not? And they do represent that universal dance. They represent, like, you know, when they dance and they're mating, it's almost like they do the infinity symbol, the DNA helix and everything like that. And they just, you know, it's a very beautiful, you know, even the way that they format the combs, right? The honeycombs, in a sense, right? So maybe working with the bee spirit, just doing that, sitting with that and buzzing. See where you feel it at. Do you feel it in your solar plexus? Do you feel it in your womb? Do you feel it in your heart? Do you feel it in your ears? Do you feel it in your throat? Do you feel it in your head? Where do you feel it? What does it do to you? Journal it down. Connect with it. Spirit, what other message? Oh, that's way too much here. So I'm gonna I might end up the parrot here. Watch your words here with the parrot, and this is the number 45 here, which breaks down to a 9. So 4 is definitely about like the foundations and stability here in the 4 directions of your being. It's also like culture, right? So and then 5 is like that flexibility. It also reminds me of changes, travel, freedom, the serpent here. And this could very much be, you know, that maybe there's some things that you need to change when it comes down to your traditional values and what has been fundamental to you here. Or maybe getting to study a little bit more of like your ancestry here, and practicing like words of affirmation, words of hekau, really allowing your divinity to pour into you and really embrace you, you know, because it's very the rainbow there. And really this also looks like a phoenix almost, even though it's a parrot. I'm looking at it like a phoenix here. So it can very much be like, watch your words. You know, I know sometimes I can be hot-headed, and I definitely you know, say things sometimes that I could be more mindful of. I could say something a little bit more reasonable. And so that's part of my shadow work, right? Is that the tongue is mightier than the sword. And, you know, at the same time, this can be that, you know, possibly you just, you know, maybe you're spelling yourself, talking down on yourself, or talking down on your peoples and your situation. Or, you know, maybe it's that you been feeling low and down, and rather than saying words of encouragement or uplifting yourself, it's about time that you start using words of affirmation. Maybe writing a gratitude journal here, creating words of power, words of affirmation every day. This could also be you know, writing new spells. You know, some of y'all, it can be that, you know, you following the crowds way too much, and Spirit is asking you to go within and follow your own truth. What is true to you? What is your inner ear whispering and saying to you? What is the words that's in your mind? Because you may not always say things out loud, but what are the words that you are saying to yourself in your head? Because I definitely can overanalyze and overthink at times, and I definitely have placed myself in situations that I didn't necessarily have to be in those situations, because those people didn't feel that way, but I told myself a certain story. What story are you telling yourself? What story are you telling yourself? So watch your words. And it breaks down to a 9. So it's definitely allowing for you to really get into the center of what it is that you are saying. What is the God in you saying? What is the goddess in you saying? What guides? If you're talking to guides and you say, oh yeah, my spirit guide. Okay, which spirit guide? What are you saying? Do you know what are you saying and why you're saying it? Do you know what you're saying? Sometimes we don't, and that's okay. You don't really have to overanalyze it either. But just be mindful of your words here. This can be like your make or break. I feel like you are, those of you that's here watching and is in tune here, you are a very powerful position here of manifesting that which belongs to you and that which is going to move forward in your path, should you choose to use the right words. Right? So using your words to encourage yourself and motivate yourself to an outcome that is favorable to you, and serving you in your highest and greatest good, and serving everyone that is connected with you to their highest and greatest good, and so it'll be. That's what it'll be. But if you put in words that's just neglectful or just not self-serving here, then you're really being in a space of fearfulness. You're being in a space that's not serving you, and you may victimize yourself here. Nobody's a victim. Every single person, like sometimes I feel like, damn, why am I in this situation? Bitch, because I chose this situation and now I'm in it, so I gotta get myself out of it. Find the solution rather than staying stuck on the problem. Look at the problem, pay attention to the problem, don't ignore it, but be mindful of who you're blaming or what. No, we always have a choice to say no to people. And if you're constantly people pleasing and then all of a sudden you feel like a victim, well, you people please. You should have said no. If you didn't like something or it's not serving you, then you say no. Period. Period. Don't self-sacrifice for people that, they don't see things the same way you see it. And that's okay, because nobody's supposed to see things the same way you're going to see it. We could all look at the same picture and we're all going to come up with 1,000 different words for the same picture. Okay, woo! I'm going to get a dragon spirit here. A lot of earth energy coming in right now, but it doesn't surprise me. This is an earth full moon here, a Taurus full moon here. So why dragon spirit wants to come in here at this time? Haha. Thank you. We have the dragon, the spinach dragon here. And it's the dragon of strength here. And this dragon speaks about, adaptability, having the strength to get through different circumstances in your life, and how sometimes the weather may change, and being resilient to those changes of the weather here, having the strength and the courage to get through that which is no longer serving you here. I'm sorry. Okay, we have a request here. I normally don't do that. Strength here. I am going to read that. Give me a moment. I am going to read what the book says here in regards to the spinach. I passed it. I'm pretty sure this is it. Let me see. Squash. Okay. This friendly little dragon brings unexpected strength just when you need it most. When you're feeling down, and the small spinach dragon lifts you up and fortifies you so that you can face any challenges with renewed vigor and confidence. Let this little green hawk inspire you to tap into your self-empowerment waiting to be discovered here. What a beautiful, beautiful dragon here. What a beautiful dragon. I was just saying how the parrot looks like a phoenix. That rebirth energy. So that you can tap into your true self here. And this is, definitely us as a whole collective, that we are birthing a new earth. We are birthing a new time. So there's a lot that needs to shed. And, this is why those that's not willing to shed, those that's not willing to change their old ways. Oh, I've been doing this my whole life. Well, guess what? That shit may not have been serving you your whole life. That shit may have been, bringing you to the worst place your whole fucking life. So you still gonna be sick. You still gonna be this. Like, at that point, that's their choice. And that's the spell that they putting on themselves. But you could be mindful of your words and say, you know what, that is for you, that's not for me. That shit ends with you, not with me. I don't choose that for my life, and so I choose to walk the path that is walking in my highest and greatest good. Period. And have the strength and the courage to do that. And sometimes it looks scary, and sometimes you don't even know what it looks like at all. Because guess what? Sometimes I don't know what the fuck that looks like at all either. But guess what? That don't mean that I'm not looking forward and I'm not walking forward. My feet is walking in the direction to my true north. For sure. You know, so make sure you have the strength. You know, I feel like for some of y'all, the beads might really allow for you to tap into that solar plex confidence energy. Maybe wearing some yellow, attracting some happiness energy to you, or really like sun gazing or working, like, you know, just really tapping into like fire energy here as well. We are in Scorpio season, and this is an earth sign, so doing the grounding is definitely important here. But we will be going into Sagittarius, so this could also be like maybe you putting in the work, or maybe you are fire sign here, and really needed to tap into working on like that solar plexus energy. This is for spiritual protection. This is for spiritual guidance. This is for your intuition. This is for your healing. You know, when the stomach is healed and is clean, you know, in Vedic in Ayurveda, you know, they say when there's a clean gut, no diseases shall exist there. And so, you know, maybe there's certain things that you have to like change about the way that you're eating, or not necessarily. Maybe you want to eat the way you want to eat, and that's fine, but then maybe you got to change the way you're thinking about what it is that you're eating. Because if you're going to still go and eat meat, that's fine. Eat what you want to eat, but eat it with joy and happiness. Eat it with a prayer intention over it. Put your hands over your food and pray that it serves you and nourishes you for your highest and greatest good, that it nourishes your mind, it nourishes your body, it nourishes your spirit, and that the life force energy and the elemental spirits that went into that being that's on your plate, that life source food that is on your plate, that it is nourishing you, that it is feeding your soul, that it becomes a spirit that works with you in your highest and greatest good, and keeping you into your wholeness of your God body. That the spirit, whether it's meat, whether it's plant, whatever it is that you're eating or consuming, that it's going to be working in your highest and greatest good. That every person, every farmer, every laborer, every person and being and entity that was affiliated to bringing that food forth to you, provide that nourishing energy into your mind, into your spirit, into your body, and you give thanks, and that you be so filled in your cup and so filled in your being that energy just, it fills your cup and it overflows with the spirit of abundance and prosperity onto all those persons and beings affiliated to bringing that food forth to you. So now you can eat whatever the fuck you want. Now I bet you your skin glow. You'll be all the more stronger for it, because now you heightened up your spiritual team. Whether it was a cow, guess what? That cow gonna move for you. If it's a bull, it's gonna be a bully and target those that's against you. It's gonna work in your favor. If it's spinach, you're gonna be like Popeye, and you're gonna become strong, and you're gonna be able to handle any situation, right? For some of y'all, it might be that your iron levels is low. Maybe incorporating more spirit. We have this spinach, right? The spinach dragon here. So maybe incorporating more iron and your maybe more spinach into your diet here, so that your blood is fortified, so that you have the strength to get through things, right? And that iron, right, that's also connected with the lungs. So maybe doing some breathing techniques, because the lungs is the metal in the body, and that shit cuts through illusions. It cuts through the bullshit here. This is why the better you breathe, the better your DMT, right? The better you breathe, the better your heart beats. Your heart and your lungs, they're together, they're connected. It does a dance. And every time you breathe, it just cuts through. It just cuts through the illusion. It just cuts through the bullshit. Allow that to be your shield. Allow that to be the armor that cuts through anything that's not serving you. And then you build the strength in you. You build the warrior aspect in you. Now your spleen is happier. Now your liver is happier. Now your heart is happier. Now your brain is happier because it could think more clearly. Now your blood is happier. So you get to ebb and flow in life more fluidly because the oxygen levels is purified, is cleansed. You know, and you can think about it like, you know, like the iron in your blood is just, you know how they say, you know, cover me in the spirit of, you know, in the blood of Christ or whatever. Like, that's you in the blood of God. Like, cover yourself in the blood of God, that your iron is so lit. It just cuts through anything. Be like Haruka Hutsi, cutting through the bullshit to uphold the laws of Ma'at. To uphold the justice to work in your favor. To break through anything that's not serving you through the illusions. Practicing some pranayama. You know, whether it's fast-paced or slow-paced. Get acquainted with your breath. Speak the life force. Watch your words. Watch your words. Your hekau. We had the Page of Swords. Watch the words. You know, so whether it's needing to change the diet or not, you want to grub on some meat, you go grub on that meat. But you know why? You make love to the life force that went into that meat. So that life force that went into that meat can make love to you. And now you more full of love than you ever been. You know? Or maybe there's a way, maybe you eating way too much and you need to just maybe just eat until you're stuffed, until you're full. If you know you're full, you know what, I'm good. I don't need to eat no more. Or maybe for some of y'all, this is incorporating a fast or a detox. You know, it can be different for everyone. It could be different for everyone. You know, but that's just kind of what I'm getting. So I'm going to do a closing card. Hi, Gabby. And I am going to use the fairy deck for this closing card. I may come back later. I just have... Does anybody have the time right now? Because I definitely feel like I am... And my candles is kind of letting me know like I am a little bit late for something that I was supposed to do. And so I might come back. Because I'm on the East Coast, so if somebody can give me the time, I will share this video. When I come back, I'm definitely, you know what, I'll probably come back and I'll do questions. Guardian of the gates here. Woo! Allowing yourself when it is 3:02. Look at that. It's 3:02 and I definitely have to go because I am running late. And in the number 3, right? And they was telling me what time it is. They was like, yeah, we gonna close this gate. It's 3 o'clock. It's time for you to go. Spirit ain't never lie. I love y'all. So this is the closing card. You know, connect with yourself. Ask yourselves, breathe. Don't worry about what people say is a gatekeeper. What spirit is a gatekeeper? This, that, and the third. Who is the gatekeeper to you in your life? Who is the gatekeeper to you in your life? And get acquainted with that gatekeeper. Get acquainted with yourself. The mouth is a gatekeeper. The nose is a gatekeeper. The eyes is a gatekeeper. The ears are a gatekeeper. Maybe, if that's what I believe. You know? Or it can be an actual other entity or being. You know, some people, we love to connect with Ganesha and we give thanks. Namaha. Anpu, Tahuti, Elegua, Maferefun, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Maybe a gatekeeper is one of our personal ancestors. Maybe it's just our higher selves. Maybe it's an ascended master. Whoever it is, be mindful today with who you're connecting with. Be mindful of your words. Be mindful of the spirits. Love yourself wholeheartedly. Take the time to meditate. take the time to meditate. I'm definitely going to recommend each and every one of you to drink water after this, preferably cold water. But I normally say room temperature, but after any reading, I like to say cold water so that it rejuvenates and cleanses your cells, your organs, your aura. Okay? Cleansing yourself from any energies that is not serving you. Cleansing you of any energies that's no longer within your highest and greatest good. That's not yours. Cut all the cords of anyone that's here that's not in connection with you, that's not meant to connect with you, so that you are sovereign in your being and your energies is yours and my energy is mine. And we can hold space with each other and we can love each other, but we do not have to give each other our problems, and we can cut through that with the illusions. Use the power of the words, the tongue, hekau here, and as I will it, so it be. And we give thanks to each and every ancestor, spirit guide that has joined us in this space. And may all of us together purify this space in divine love and close this space as I now close the gate. Ashe. And give thanks. Peace.